What's going on, guys? Chris Kennedy here. I am back, and today I'm talking the Southeastern Conference, my turnaround team in the SEC, a team that's going to go from having a losing record in 2020 to a winning record in 2021. But before I get into it, do me a favor. First things first, hit that little thumbs up button, subscribe, or consider subscribing if you haven't already. I love talking college football. It's fun to do. I'm no expert. I'm just an average fan, but I like looking into these teams, making these videos, engaging with you guys back and forth in the comments, so any type of support you could give me would be greatly appreciated. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by 1 July. Maybe a little lofty, but I'm going to give it a shot. Now, what I've been doing is I've been going through each of the Power 5 conferences and picking out one team that I think is going to go from being a loser to a winner next football season. I've already covered the ACC, Big 10, Big 12, and Pac-12, so if you haven't had a chance, go back to my channel, check those videos out, let me know what you think. Now I'm on to the SEC today. Now to qualify for the list, we had to meet two pieces. One, you couldn't have played in a bowl game last year, and two, your record had to be 500 or under. In the SEC, 6 teams qualified. 2 from the West, Arkansas and LSU, 4 from the East, South Carolina, Tennessee, Missouri, and Vanderbilt. So to me, it really came down to 3 teams. Now, I think LSU was an obvious choice for obvious reasons. I mean, they won a national championship in 2019. They had to replace a lot off that coaching staff and a lot of players last year. So them going 5-5 is not normal, and most people expect them to bounce back. I expect them to bounce back as well. Arkansas, a team last year that went 3-7, not good in the win-loss category, but they definitely exceeded expectations. I don't think anybody expected Sam Pittman to have that team as competitive as they were, and they got robbed in the Auburn game. So Arkansas fans, I think, should feel good about the program, and I think they do, and they feel that they have the right guy in Sam Pittman for the job. We will just see how much they improve next year, but I do think they will be a better football team. But the team that stood out to me, and the team that I think is really going to turn things around next year, and I think you're going to hear a lot about them, is the Missouri Tigers. Now, last year, Missouri, they go 5-5. They were actually in the top 25, 8 games into an all-SEC schedule. So pretty impressive for Eli Drinkwitz, first year on the job, taking a team, going 5-5, 5-3 at one point, and they were expected to finish 6th going into last season. Eli Drinkwitz, I've already made a video on him. I think he's one of the next big name coaches out there. I think his future is bright. I think he's going to do a lot there. Offensive minded guy, and we'll see what he can do year 2 with Missouri. Now, he's got to replace some pieces. Got a new defensive coordinator, Steve Wilks, coming in from the NFL. Spent time with the Carolina Panthers when they made their Super Bowl run. The Chicago Bears, most recently with the Cleveland Browns, I think in 2018. He's going to be implementing a new defensive scheme, so we will see how long it takes for that to take shape. Also bringing in Jethro Franklin to work with the defensive line, coming in from the Seattle Seahawks. So he's bringing some NFL guys into Missouri to see what they can do, and it'll be interesting. There wasn't a lot you could get out of the spring game, in my opinion, but what we've heard is, at least as far as getting to the quarterback sacks, forcing turnovers and things like that, at least coming out of the Missouri reporters and the coaching staff, is that has been really, really improved. I don't know how true that is, but we'll see. Now, player-wise, we're going to talk a little bit about the offense, the defense, and then I'm going to go through the schedule. Now, offensively, you got to replace Larry Roundtree. Larry Roundtree, an awesome running back. I thought he did a lot for you guys. Just a guy you leaned on, you depended on, and he seemed to deliver year after year. He's off, and now you got to wonder who's going to replace him. Now, you got Tyler Beatty, a guy last year that played, was involved a lot. Averaged 5 yards a carry, had 4 scores, had a lot of catches out of the backfield. Somebody that is really dangerous, a speedy guy. He's going to be involved in that offensive running game, but who's going to be the other guy? Is it going to be Dawson Downing? Michael Cox, I thought, showed some good things in the spring game. So, we've got to figure out who are the 2 backs going to be. We know Tyler Beatty will be involved, but who's going to be the other guy? Your quarterback, Connor Bazelak, he's your guy. He's the guy that Eli Drinkwitz is rolling with. Showed a lot of good signs last year. Maybe didn't crush the numbers, but a mobile guy and a young guy, so people just expect him to improve. Wide receivers, you bring back 4 wide receivers that had more than 27 catches last year. So definitely you guys have got these guys already involved, and you bring in Mookie Cooper from Ohio State in the transfer portal. So a lot of people want to see how he can fit into what Eli Drinkwitz does there. Now, my question marks really are the offensive line. I think this is across the board for any team. It all starts with your offensive line. I don't care what kind of skill players you got. If you can't block them, you got no shot. Offensively last year, you guys weren't expected to be very good because you had to replace a lot off the offensive line, but you did all right. I mean, you ranked 30th in sacks allowed, 50th in tackles for loss. I mean, not the best offensive line out there, but it could have been a lot worse. Hiron White, he had shoulder surgery, so he missed out last year, but he's back this year. You bring in EJ Indoma Ogar from Oklahoma. We'll see how he fits in. And then you have Chase Cook at right guard. He's returning. I thought he played pretty well. Your center, Michael Mayetta, I might have said that name wrong. He performed well, or he performed pretty good, I thought. And then, we'll see how him working with these guys that are incoming. And then you still have like Xavier Delgado, Zeke Powell, Javon Foster. They struggled a little bit last year, but they should be better. You got more experience and games under your belt. So I expect Missouri's offensive line to be a better unit overall. You've got your quarterback situation figured out. You have reliable receivers. I like what Tyler Beatty can do. The question is, who's going to be that other running back? So on the offensive side of the ball, I think this Missouri team is going to be better. Now, switching over to the defensive side of things, and like I said, Steve Wilks, he's implementing a new defensive scheme, so we'll see how it plays out. But it doesn't help the fact that you're losing 3 of your best players off that defense in Nick Bolton, Joshua Bledsoe, and Tyree Gillespie. Big-time pieces. Now you got to figure out who's going to step up. I think some of those answers we already know. First of all, you get Trajan Jeffcoat back. All SEC guy last year, 23 tackles, 6 sacks, just a big-time presence. He's a great player. I expect him to have another great year. Kobe Whitesides is back. Isaiah McGuire, 18 tackles, 3 sacks. He was a presence up front. So I like defensively up front what this team can do. But like I said, what is Steve Wilks going to do? Like, what is he trying to do with that unit? Linebackers, Devin Nicholson, he was a big-time piece. He had 82 tackles for you last year, made some plays. But then, like, Chad Bailey, how does he fit in? Cornerback, Jalen Carleys, how is he going to fit in? JUCO, you get Jadarius Perkins coming in from JUCO. You also get Daniel Robledo. He's a defensive end, but he's coming in from the JUCO side as well. So all these guys, how they fit, that is the question mark to me. Chris Sheeran, he opted out last year. He should be a part of the team this year. And then, Enos Rakestraw, I think Enos Rakestraw is great. I mean, considering how he played as a true freshman at cornerback, and he was like the real first big-time recruit that Eli Drinkwitz was able to sway from Alabama and Texas. People were really surprised that he actually went there, but he was an immediate contributor. So I think he's a great player. So when I look at this defense, I mean, there's some holes, but then you have some great players. You have a lot of talent. That's not including anybody that you got in your recruiting class, a recruiting class at which ranked 21st according to Rivals, the best recruiting class Missouri has had since like 2010. So Eli can bring in the talent, and his recruiting classes have just gotten better and better. So I think things are looking good for Missouri when I look at an overall team perspective. Still some holes, but how's the coaching staff going to fit into it? How's it going to work out for Connor Bazelak? Can you stay healthy? That's the other thing too, because I'm not so sure that you guys have the depth. Will you be able to stay healthy? Now, looking into the schedule, Man, I look at this schedule. You start out versus Central Michigan. You should win that game. Then you're on the road at Kentucky. A lot of people have high hopes for what Kentucky to do. That should be a tough game. But me personally, I think Missouri can win this game. Then you're at Southeast Missouri State. That should be a win. Interesting game on the road at Boston College. I pick you guys to win this game only because I think Boston College will be good offensively. The problem is they lose like all of their linebackers. So question marks for Boston College as well. How's that defense going to hold up? I actually like Missouri to go into Boston College and win this game. Then you get Tennessee at home. I don't know what Tennessee is going to be. That could be a toss-up game. You get North Texas after that. And then you go into A&M. I think there is a strong possibility that Missouri is 6-0 going into the A&M game. Now, I don't expect you to beat Texas A&M. Texas A&M is just a more talented team. If you did beat them, I guess I wouldn't be overly shocked because, like I said, I feel that Eli Drinkwitz is a head coach and Texas A&M has got their own questions to answer. But I'm going to pick A&M in that game at this point. Then you go on the road at Vandy. You should win that game. Then you're on the road at Georgia. That's going to be tough. You get South Carolina. I like you against South Carolina. Florida at home. That could be interesting. You do get them at home late in the season. Maybe it's cold there. Maybe it messes with the Gators. Maybe they don't play as well. And, Florida, they're replacing a lot as well. And then you close out the season at Arkansas. That should be another tough game, I think. I look at this schedule, and I think there's a strong possibility that you're favored in 9 of the 12 football games. I think you'll probably lose a game that you shouldn't, but I also think you might beat somebody that you shouldn't. I think Missouri can actually hit that 9-win mark, go 9-3 on the season. If Eli Drinkwitz can do that his second year in, that is a great sign. And like I said, they just continue to recruit. That recruiting class is getting better and better as they go on. So I'm really excited about what Missouri can do. Missouri is my turnaround team for the SEC in 2021, a team that I think is going to go from having a losing record to a winning record. But you guys let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you think Missouri will perform well? Do you think I'm just absolutely crazy for saying this? Do you think there's another team that you expect to even do better than them that I'm not even mentioning? I appreciate you guys listening to the video. Like I said, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you guys later.